Don't be the dressing room DJ. Let your pals take care of the tunes. Drive smart.
Oh, you're in, pal.
Bobby Madden, what's happening?
Hello, Sam, how are you, pal?
How are you, mate?
Okay, good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. What a motor.
Yes, it's the company's car.
No, it's
mine.
not.
It is, aye.
It's tremendous, mate.
It's a nice car.
And what a car we've got. We've got 3 of the biggest Bobbies in Scottish football inside it. I'll let you work that one.
I've got it.
What is that? That's a red card for that part.
And you'll be straight away.
What is the car we're driving today, mate?
Audi Q7 S-Line Sport. So it's a nice car to drive, nice and safe.
Did you shine it this morning?
No, I did not. I asked the company to do it, but they never done it.
No,
so.
I meant the head. How long you had it for?
It was picked up today for them, so.
Oh, was it? Right?
I gave it because I'm in company hours. I've picked up one of the pool cars, so.
What do you usually drive it?
Use an X-Trail, Nissan X-Trail.
Oh, do you, right?
A big car, so we do a lot of miles, so you need to make sure you're comfortable.
What, with your work you do all the time?
With work and with football.
Yes, mate, let's go. Where are we off to?
I think we were.
Where are you taking us?
I think we were going to go to Hampden, they said.
Right. You want to take us to anywhere? Is this where you're from?
Well, no, this was my first game was here, so this is Hunters Hill playing field. So my first game back in 2003.
Right.
January 2003 was here. It's changed a lot since then. I think it was the pitch right in the bottom corner there was my first game. West
Did you have a
Park.
shocker?
No, maybe. It was West Park under 13, so it was my first game. You're out there and you don't know what to expect. So I remember I was running the boot after about 5 minutes. I'm just running up and down the side of the park, trying to stay at the road of the ball, and I foul. And I went, that's a fucking foul. I went, oh fuck, that's my job. I still do that.
2003, so you'd have been what, 30?
You're at it already. I'm trying to work out behind you. It was 24. 24,
so see after that game, did you think, right, this is for me?
I thought it was difficult, it was more challenging than I thought it was going to be, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being involved. You don't think like that when you first go into refereeing, you're not thinking that I'm going to go into the Premier League or even make senior football. I took it up to help out a local team that couldn't get referees on a Sunday morning. So
what, somebody just phoned you up and asked fancy giving us a match?
I just knew one of my pals' sons couldn't get a referee, and he said, do you fancy it? I seen the advert in the local paper, UK News, and I thought, I'll go for this course. And I thought, I'll go and help him out. Sunday morning, I was always idle on a Sunday morning anyway. I thought, I'll go and do it. And then I only end up doing a couple of games for him very quickly. I get put in the under 21 leagues, then you just progress from there. Yeah. But when you go into refereeing, I don't think anybody goes in thinking I'm going to referee at a specific standard. You go in because you love football to start with.
This is Auchan there, isn't it? Derek, do you know Derek Lyle?
I do, aye.
His pub's at the top of that hill.
I seen it there.
You want to go and put his windies in?
No, Derek was alright actually.
Was he? How to deal with?
Derek was fine. I mean, you knew where you were with him. I mean, I like players that are just straight down the middle, no messing about. He was a very good player, wasn't he? Technically very good, but he's hopeless, right?
What about the state he's cowed in beef, his teeth?
Oh, they're magnificent, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, honestly, I might get that done and I make enough money when I chuck it.
I need to say as well, the Partick Thistle young boys are training over there.
Aye, we've seen a few of them there, didn't we?
And not one of them will ever make it as a footballer. They'll all be working at McDonald's next year. Right, Bobby, let's go, we're off.
Right.
Can you take us a long route to Hampden? Because I've got loads that I want to ask you, mate.
I can.
Obviously, a big football man, as you said. Ambition to become a player first?
No, my ambition was to be a runner.
Was it?
I played with the schools teams coming through, but when I went into kind of first and second year, I realised I wasn't a bad long distance runner, believe it or not. I was a few stone lighter. So really, for the early years at high school, I was totally focused on my athletics. I must have trained every day. I must have been running 60 miles a week. I represented Scotland as a junior international. So I was really totally focused on that. I played with the school team through, but I never really thought
position?
Right back, where all the mother players go. Aye. You can run, but you can't play. Just point me in the right direction, away I go. So no, it was. I was totally focused on that. And then when the running I realised I wasn't going to make it a runner. Then I thought I've missed all this time of playing football. So I went to play UK Thistle under 21s, one of the junior teams down here, under 21 side. Enjoyed that. So then when I outgrew that, I went to play one of the local amateur teams, East Kilbride YM. I played 3 games. I think because I hadn't played at that when everybody enjoys playing football, kind of 12 to 18 with other pals, I missed that. So I played in the Churches League on a Saturday morning. Then I went straight to play the YM in the afternoon. Then I played in the Sunday league in the Sunday.
So you absolutely love football, eh?
And I just loved playing. So it was great. You know, it was good to be involved. And I think so. When was that? For about 19, I was playing football. And for 21, I was probably playing 3 games a weekend until I was 24. And I started the referee course. I still played in the Churches League in the morning, and then went to do my games in the afternoon.
So. There it is. Look, there's the hunt.
There it is. Need to watch.
The Del Boy will be behind the bar there, pulling the pints.
He'll be there.
Mate, I need to say as well, old G-Star thing.
I'm trying to stay with you.
Designer gear.
Keep in with the young team.
The big motor. Must be paying you a fortune, that old SF. Much on a week?
No. Remember, we're self-employed. We get paid by the match.
Is it by the match? Eh?
Aye. We've no contract up here.
So see, with the running, when did you know you weren't going to be good enough to make a living at that?
About 18 or 19. You know, I think I've realised that I was getting a couple of injuries. I was still representing the kind of Scottish schools and the kind of under 20 national squad. So I was running on the track 1500 metres steeplechase and out in the cross country. So but I realised I was never, anytime I went to run down to England and you went to compete against.
You actually ran down to England? That must have
That's how I'm not here. Hard gone. But you're competing, you couldn't get near the boys. Right. You couldn't get near them.
And what was that? Is that a coaching thing, do you think? Is that like
I don't know. I really applied myself. You know, there's no doubt. I applied myself. I done everything I could. Probably my diet could be better. Always a problem with my diet. But in terms of discipline and training and doing the right things, I've done it. So what is it? Is it genes? I don't know. So I knew I wasn't making about 18, 19, and then I thought I just wanted to play football. I was never going to be a football player. And then the refereeing just kind of came in with just, like I say, an advert in the paper.
See, when you were playing, would you be one that would give the ref a bit?
No. I think it comes down to, and people talk about that, like what's players' attitudes like, and I think it comes down to how you are as an individual. You know, I think if you're an aggressive individual, you'll be aggressive with referees. I think if you're quite calm, you'll be calm. And I see that even in players that we deal with now, in Scotland or even abroad. You know the guys that are going to cause you a problem quite early on. So no, I was always a guy that would be quite friendly, chatting away. Particularly when I started the course, you know, I thought I'll try and kind of talk to these guys and try and get the odd tip here and there. So no, I was never wanting to give them abuse, never.
Nah, see the players obviously they do coaching courses. Is the referee course is quite similar?
Well, I mean, see, to be a referee, you know, no be surprised, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it's a 10-week course, so it's 2 hours over 10 weeks.
Is that right?
Aye. And at the end of that, you'll get a multiple choice exam where it'll be written questions and video test, and then you'll just pass the child wellbeing module, pass your disclosure, and then that's you a qualified referee. So then you obviously need to progress through the ranks, but that is you essentially go to qualification. And then you need to try and find a league, and then if you go to association training and the likes, you then progress through the ranks if your performances are obviously acceptable. So it doesn't take a lot to be a qualified referee. People say, oh, he's a qualified referee, but it's only a 10-week course.
Is that right? What was there anyone else on your course that would know?
There was a young lad who's now in the Premier League, Colin Stephen.
So no, I'm kidding.
I'm actually his 4th man on Saturday down at Hamilton Motherwell. So he was on the course, and Gareth Law, actually the journalist.
Was he? Gareth Law? He worked for the Sun, didn't he?
Aye, still does. Aye, so he was on the course. So that's it. There's nobody else there that's still hanging about that I know anyway.
Was there a ref that you looked up to when you were younger?
I think when I'll be honest, I see my minute referee, I couldn't have told you the name of any referees.
Could you
couldn't know? I mean, I think you knew. Probably I could have told you Hugh Dallas.
You've shattered my. I thought you'd had like posters of Hugh Dallas up at
No, I have no. No, I think.
Willie Young.
Willie Young. That's probably the 3 names I would have known would have been Mike McCurry, Hugh Dallas, and Willie Young. Yeah. That's the 3 because I wasn't interested in refereeing. I think it's changed now. I think everybody knows referees' names, don't they, because of social media and whatever else. But when I get into the refereeing, everybody highlights Collina, don't they? You've got Pierluigi Collina.
Is he the best, Jack?
Well, he's regarded as the best, isn't he?
Why do you think that was? Just because players feared him a wee bit?
I think it was just the way he went about his business. I think he was firm, but he could tell that he had a decent relationship with that respect, didn't he? So I think he was probably. I mean, everybody regards it. When people mention referees, who's the best referee? They would always say Collina. I think in recent times, but Collina, everybody else made mistakes. But it's how you can. You say perform and you look composed on the field of play. He was the one guy that I would have thought that he's.
So you would watch his performances and think he's really good?
Aye, I mean, you'd watch in the way, because I remember when I was fairly new to refereeing, I think he refereed a game at Celtic Park, Celtic Stuttgart. He actually missed a red card, I remember. But he was a very good referee, and that's what people say. Oh, you're not a good referee. You've made this mistake or that mistake. But there's merit to refereeing.
What makes a good referee?
For me, it's about the way I look at it is, first of all, did you control the game? As long as your game don't get out of control, that's the first thing. Then you don't want to influence the game. Obviously, you don't want to make a decision that influences a result. See, if that's what we don't want. I mean, you don't want to make a decision that people go, that's cost the team a promotion, a relegation, a championship, or even a result. You know, that's what you're trying to do. You don't want to get kind of get that. What would you say?
Reputation.
Aye, because if that, I mean, I've got it. Let's be honest. People will go and this and oh, there's Bobby. He made this mistake, that mistake. They'll cast all these errors up, but it's about trying to reduce the errors. That's the thing, isn't it? It's about trying to kind of reduce them and perform well. So for me, control the game. Don't make match-changing decisions, and have that relationship with players. That's the big things for me.
Because see, when obviously you ref me as a youth team player.
That's right.
I always thought you had that. You could have a chat with you had a wee bit of relationship.
I think you've got to. And again, some players will not entertain you. Some players don't want to talk to referees. That's the way it is. There's some who'll just no engage you, and that's fine. And that comes down to just individual personalities. It's the same in workplace. You know, there's some guys that will just know. Want to talk to certain individuals. That's just the way it is. Even in football teams, there's some folk that don't go on as well as other folk. So I think you need to try and get a relationship. And I don't know the youth with you, then I don't know the academy games. Remember, in the Tuesday afternoons up at Lennoxtown. So, and what that is, and what it is familiarity. Isn't it? I think once you're dealing with guys and you build up a relationship, and then that's when refereeing becomes easier. You know, if you look at now, I've been in the Premier League for 9 or 10 years, so I've built up a relationship with a lot of the players, so your games are easier, you know.
Because we just seen the Thistle boys there, and they were all over you, weren't you?
Well, and that's him.
You're looking at a bung for him.
Like, so who was there? I mean, Darian and Foxy and Big Brian Graham, they're guys that I've known for years. So, I mean, people think, players don't like referees, but we get on. They're not going to agree with everything we do, but we do get on. I would say we definitely get on. Just
on me in the youth team, I must have gave you some of the most enjoyable Saturdays you ever had watching that.
I mean, so the ability. I mean, I think of some of the great players in that team, and you.
Yes, I love it.
There were some decent players in that squad, you know. And I remember when we used to do the games, and then remember the academy games used to go up on a Tuesday afternoon. They always kicked off at 2:30, so I was working 62 at that time in a depot down in Bells Hill. So I used to get away from my work, run out, do the games. Lennon was in charge at this time. And all my pals used to say, who's playing? Remember, he used to bring in the odd I remember, who was the guy? He said, was it Mark Crossass or something? Then my son, was it these guys came in, and I remember them going back. What were they like? Tell me what the players were like. I went, they're all right, you know, but they're trying to get my opinion. So it was good, and that was good for me getting to get a relationship with players that will eventually be in the senior team. So it was good. Even like wee Mark Miller, there's a wee guy.
Oh, he was a mouthy wee guy.
But I got on great with wee Mark Miller,
funny.
And his patter was great. And then what I actually was doing a game, wee Mark was playing down at Queen of the South, and I gave a decision, a free kick or something, and there was an English boy playing with him, and he's like, get a fucking grip, you ref. And I'm like, fuck, nice to meet you, I'm thinking, and wee Mark Miller shouts, shut the fuck up, he's alright. And that goes back to the fact that we'd had all the years of going through the development squads, and so it's good. And to be fair to that player in the second half, sorry ref, so it was fine. So again, I think there's real benefit in trying to build a relationship with players. We should be doing it.
See on that, do you think like reserve games should bring back first team players for younger? Would it be good for younger refs for that to happen?
Well, remember when you were coming through, they had the reserve league was running at the time, and I think both old firm clubs had their own TV channel, so you could, in terms of development, it was good because you could watch the game back and see how you're performing. You don't really get that now. I know there's more coverage now in junior football with kind of the clubs filming their own games, but back then there wasn't that, so it was a good opportunity, one, to see some of the big personalities, some good players, and get used to that, and get used to that level of scrutiny, because the games were aired on their own channels, so an opportunity to kind of see how you were doing. So I think that's a good statement from a refereeing perspective. Whether it suits football and the amount of games that players play, I don't know, but for a refereeing perspective, it was good for us in terms of development.
What about before you hit the big time and take the youth out it? Like, did you ever do a junior game and you thought, fuck me, man?
Aye, I've done a few. I mean, I was 4 years in the juniors, and I had one game. You know, the big junior derbies are Auchinleck and Cumnock, down in Ayrshire. Done a few of them without actually any bother. And then the one up in the central regions, Pollock and Atherley. And I done that once, and it was the two of them were going for the league. Pollock were always a good side in the juniors. And it was a fucking disaster. It was 4-3. I had 3 half, I had another, so I put, do you know Stevie Miller, former Celtic youth captain, Bexy?
Right, yeah.
So Bexy was playing with Pollock at the time, and he was actually pals with my brother. And the game's, honestly, it's through the roof. It's 4-3. I've got a manager away at half time. I've gave a free kick, then behind my back, here's fucking whack. I look round, I see Bexy and an opponent lying on the ground. I'm like, so I just go over. So I know it's him, it can only be him. So bang the red card up. So Bexy's like, fuck's sake, Bobby. And I'm like, Stephen. So he's walking off, he then gives the old 2-finger gesture to the fans. So I'm thinking, I knew I need to pull him in at the end of the game and tell him, you're sent off. It's going to be subject to a further red card offence. So the game finishes 4-3. I think I've got 10 or 11 cautions, 3 off, manager away, Bexy another. So in the juniors back then, you had to report the misconduct directly after the game on a form. And you have to put, if it's violent conduct, you had to put kicking or punching, whatever that was, headbutt. So I get Bexy in with a club official and I said, Stephen, just to let you know, you're being ordered off for a further red card offence for making an offensive gesture. Fuck's sake, he's moaning this and that, and I said, and that's going to be on top of the violent conduct offence for punching your opponent. Never punched, I fucking kicked him. I'm like, changed it, that's it, report, sorted, kick. So you had to find your way through the juniors, but I remember after that I thought, it's hard going. In terms, again, as I talk about for development, it's the juniors is great. I mean, the juniors is great. I think even up your way Dundee, some right good sides, isn't it? When they meet the Scottish, when they meet the Scottish, that's a good test for the referees.
So when was the first big game? When was the first SPL game?
2011.
Is it similar to a player making their debut? Is it?
It is, when there's pressure on you. I've always been quite calm about it, especially now. I don't really get uptight about anything. About any games, no matter even the biggest of games.
You drink on a Friday night, didn't you?
I think you said, didn't you? Get melted in the morning before the game, try and square me up. Not like I say, I'm a teetotaler, but some folks say I drink at half time might improve my performances at times. But I think for 2011, what was it now? It was St Mirren Inverness.
Right.
So we guys are playing.
Oh my God, that's the last thing you need on your first game.
Exactly. So you're talking about folk that can moan.
Oh my God, he moans at himself, man.
He's running around the park and you hear him shouting at himself. I mean, he's getting dead frustrated. Eventually takes it and does, but that's fine. So we guys are playing. But
that's Paul McGowan for people who don't know he's called Gowser.
So you're looking at the team lines and you're thinking, right, who's going to cause me a problem here?
Did you do that?
See, no, I don't, because I know most of the players. It doesn't really matter who's going to play. If there's maybe been a discussion about whether a player's fit or not, I might just check it. But no, I don't even look at the team lines. I just wait for the game. But then I did, because obviously you're coming through and you're wanting to see who's playing and think, right, how can I deal with that individual? Because I came across Gowser and Celtic went out with the kind of development squads and all that. So, but with that game, it was fine. It was 3 each. I always think, you get 5 minutes highlights in the telly on a Sunday night. I think, hopefully there's goals, enough to fill the highlights so don't go looking for mistakes I've made. So plenty of goals, I was quite happy, the game went alright. So that was 2011. And then by the end of that year, I think I'd refereed both of the Old Firm teams at home against somebody, so that was a kind of big step, Is
that, do you get particularly more nervous when you...
I remember my first game at Celtic Park was a midweek against Dunfermline. And I'm thinking, right, Dunfermline at that time were kind of the bottom of the league. I'm thinking Celtic will batter them. It'll be quite comfortable. No, but it was only 1-0, so there was pressure on the whole time, And I remember walking out there, and midweeks the crowd was back, but the noise even going out there, and I thought, this is it, It's like, this is you into like real pressure situations, pressure games. So you realise then once you're involved in the kind of matches that, and the scrutiny that comes with it.
See, when you make a decision and you hear that moan for that big crowd, do you think,
I think generally, see, if you've made a mistake, the reaction of players can tell you sometimes. Players will contest things that are fucking clearly that they're in the wrong and you're right. But sometimes an honest reaction from players can sometimes tell you, and you think,
Is that playing your mind for the rest of the game?
You can't allow it, and that's one thing. That's one thing I learnt early on. Whether you make a decision, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's been contested, whether it's under, you need to forget it and then think of the next decision, because they say that the referees really make up to 1,000 decisions in a game, be it throw-ins, foul, no foul, goal kick, or whatever it is. So you're making 1,000 decisions. So
I didn't make 1,000 decisions in a month, man.
You did. You own that. Well, I pass, I no pass, I'll lose it again.
Love it. Would that be the best bit of advice you could give somebody then?
I think the best bit of advice I got as a young referee was, one, get a match ball before you go to the pitch. because I went to a pitch in one of my early games and there was only one match ball and Jack Russell was chasing it about another partner, couldn't start the game. I'm trying I'm fucking not getting it. So eventually we go to the ball and the other ones get your money, get paid when you're out doing the youth and the amateurs.
How do people bump you?
They don't bump you, but then after the game, see if you had a problem with the team, then there's a bit of, so, but I've been paid in shrapnel a couple of times.
Have you?
Oh, aye, 10 pences and all that. So that was the two bits of advice to the young referees, but to the guys coming through, the senior guys, take a decision at a time and then move to the next decision. It might be a minute later, it might be 10 seconds, it might not come, but you need to be prepared for that next decision.
I'm starting to get worried by it. We're meant to be going to Hampden, but
I'm taking the long road.
I thought you were kidnapping us there, Bobby. What about early doors? Who was it? Was there a big name, a personality that you always had a ding dong with?
See most of the ding dongs I've had, they've been with managers, and it's when you're fourth official.
I don't know how you could do that, fourth official, mate. As you know, I sat on the bench most weeks. See the abuse the fourth official used to get me.
And again, I'm at the stage, thankfully, where the managers are a wee bit more calm, aren't they? But fourth official. But I remember the biggest player, and I remember was Thomas Gravison.
Oh mate, how good is he?
Well, and
you tell stories about him all the time.
So and I watch your show obviously, and
of course you do.
So Thomas Gravison's playing. He's just signed, so he's just won the Champions League, right? And Celtic, I don't know if you remember, play that annual game against Albion Rovers. The Jocks,
I played in it.
I think he played in this game.
I've told the story.
The Jockstein Cup, right? So I'm only a Cat 2 or a Cat 3. I'm not even refereeing senior football. I'm going to referee Thomas Gravison. So we're doing this game. Celtic had a couple of senior players out, a couple of the kind of youth players, and Thomas Gravison's playing and he fucking getting through the game, no ball on his backside. But the thing for me was after the game, and
I know he wasn't the ball on his backside because I was playing centre mid, man.
You were then he's running.
Man.
So he was kind of strolling about, you're busting your arse. And so you know what it's like at the end of the game. With all due respect to Albion Rovers, they present you with that medal and it's like the kind of, it's like a built up medal, like 50p medal you get, right? So he just gave this to Thomas, he's just in the Champions League, he's got this built up 50p medal. To be fair, we're walking down that tunnel, you know what it's like, Albion Rovers, dead narrow, and Danny McGrain, he'll be fucking chuffed to bits with that Tam. And I remember thinking, he's not going to understand what he said, and he started, fucking dynamite, he's shouting. So I think he's got a great handle in Scottish, down to earth guy, and I liked him. So, but that was it. I remember, and again into work the next day, Thomas Gravison played in that game. So guys are interested.
See, Gravison, was he speaking to you through the game?
He
loved the chat, didn't he?
And it was just general banter, you know. But
what a guy.
Friendly guy in that environment anyway. But as I say, the managers are the amount of ding dongs I've had with managers. And
who's the one man? Is there one manager that you just know you're going to get a hard time with?
Levine. I mean, me and Craig have had plenty of kind of head-to-heads in tunnels into the side of the park and all that. But it's funny, when I was coming through and you're watching football, you're saying they come across really well. Guys like Craig Levine, Jim Goodwin, who talks very well, Gus McPherson, Robbie Nielsen, but when at the side of the park, they're fucking mental. People think they're sensible. How can they, when you put a charge and you get moved to stand, how are they guys getting put to stand? But they're great on TV, but at the side of the park, they're an absolute shambles. I remember Robbie Nielsen got me a cracker one day. I can't tell who the referee was, the current referee, and Robbie Nielsen's out. I'd slagged him the week before because remember they flew that banner out. I went, anywhere you're pish, I'll get my pal to fly that banner or that Nielsen out banner. So he's up to the referee. He doesn't think the referee's having a good game. The referee's doing absolutely fine. And Robbie comes up to me and goes, "What his fucking problem is? Wants to be everybody's pal. Wants to be everybody's fucking pal. Going out, too nice. He's too fucking nice. See, to be a good referee, need to be a prick. Need to be a fucking prick to be a good referee. See you, Bobby. You're a good referee." So I'm going to take that as a compliment. But,
brilliant, man. Can you ever, it's like, see how you said with players you can get a laugh. Our managers just under too much pressure to get a laugh for them.
And you can see it during the game, they're up and down.
Yeah.
They're up and down depending on the score, depending on how the kind of play's going, and they get frustrated with the way it's game, they get frustrated with their own players, they get frustrated with decisions, but you try and get a relationship with them. But no, I'm great. The managers generally, no, again after 9 years, don't bother me. Because again, you just build that up.
Do you think there's ones that actually do that to try and affect you?
Definitely. Well, I mentioned Gus there. Gus McPherson was always trying to get into the other manager's seat. He would, if there was a decision where they believed the other team felt aggrieved, Gus would say, I've just got word that it should have been a penalty for you. So that's him just trying to put them after game. They used to do that all the time.
But see, like the big personalities, have you got to stand up for them? See, if you didn't, will they just take the piss out of you?
I mean, the big personalities, I think, well, there's one, like the biggest personality in football, who's probably Ronaldo, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember back in 2016, they've just won the Euros. I just came back from being no well, and I went out there. It was Portugal, Latvia, and there was pushing and pulling at a corner. You know the standard referee trick: stop the corner, in you come. It's all for the cameras, isn't it? You stop that, and then so I go stop the game. 2 years come out, the wee Latvian boy comes out. No bother. I'm only wanting to speak to him, mind. Ronaldo blanks me.
Did he?
It's totally blanked me. I went again. Ronaldo, come here, blanks me again. Cristiano, come here, blanks me. So at that point, where am I? You know, because you can't caution them, because then you're just drawing attention to yourself, and
everyone think you're making the game about yourself.
So I just went right out and I basically told him, the uncertain times you'll know fuck about. So that was me, but he basically told me, no, I'm not coming. So at that stage I learned, especially with international superstars, they're far bigger. They think they're bigger than the game. So don't, if you're going to caution them. Don't try and speak to them.
Really,
I learnt that then, because what's the point? These big players, Ronaldo, want to talk to Bobby Madden, the referee. It does his stuff. If you're going to caution him, but he's not interested in talking. So I learnt that the hard way, that game. So when I was starting to kind of deal with some of the bigger personalities in Europe, it's body language, it's man management. If you're going to speak to them, I wouldn't bother. I would just give them a caution if it was a caution. If it wasn't a caution, I wouldn't entertain them. So I learnt that. So, but in terms of Scotland, you need to establish yourself quite quickly with some of the big names.
See with that stuff with Dan Gosling and John Moss.
Aye.
Moss giving him a bit. I mean, what is Dan Gosling? What is he moaning about? Will you slaughter players for that?
Aye. I mean, all the time. I mean, if it's be it a pass or a shot, guys that I know that are going to accept it. Aye. But then, when I think of some of the language that I hear directed at referees, at myself, not so much now, thankfully. But see, when you watch English football, I don't watch a lot of English football. I don't really like it. I watch European international, and I watch all European club football and internationals and Scottish football. I don't watch anything else. When I do watch English football, I see the grief that they give referees and the language, and it's funny when English players come up here, they try and talk to you like that. And I very quickly, I can't remember the boy's name at Dundee at the start of last year. He came early on a throw in or something. He's right in. I went, hold on a fucking minute. It's no England. You're not going to get away with that here. So again, it's different leagues have got a different level of tolerance, you know. So I think you also need to address that quite quickly when somebody's coming for a different competition and think it might be acceptable to give penalties. But you can't have a one-way street where things they can give you, and then you make one off-the-cuff remark, joke, whatever it is, and they're going to go to the media. I mean, come on.
What about funniest player in Scotland that you've read?
There's some guy, John Rankin, fun enough, gets some good part.
Good guy,
I refereed him the other week at Clyde Celtic, and he's running about with a bit of chat here and there, and then on the AstroTurf I wear trainers now because I'm getting older, to protect my old legs and feet, and he's fucking game's going on, he went, fucking hell, they're the worst fucking fake predators I've ever seen. I'm trying to concentrate, the boy's picking about the box, wee ranks are fucking killing me. But there's some guys with some great part. There's guys that are crabbit, but they're good guys, you know. I mean, guys like Liam Craig at St Johnston's a crabbit. There's probably nobody more crabbit than Liam Craig.
He's a great guy as well.
But he's a great guy after the part. I know people know him after the part, but he is, even at full time, he's fine. But see, during that game, he's a disaster to deal with.
Is he right?
He's constant. But the fun, there is loads of funny players. And again, you just build up who can you have that relationship with. There's Gowser, Paul McGowan, we spoke about. He was, when people used to ask me probably 8 or 9 years ago, who's the one player that you don't go on with? Him. But see now, great. See, I've probably matured a bit. Gowser's eventually matured a bit.
33 years to mature.
He's got there. So now we got on great. So it just changes, doesn't it? So now he's got good chat. But there's loads of guys
there. What about in the big derbies? Does that talking and having a laugh go out the window?
I think you're so focused on the game. I mean we're talking big derbies, you're talking about the derbies in Dundee, they're big games, they're hard games, even the Edinburgh derby then obviously.
100 mile an hour the Dundee derbies.
They're honestly, they're as hard, and even there was a period there where they were harder than both Edinburgh and Glasgow.
Really?
I mean they were hard games. So you're so focused on getting things right, and as I say, I'm quite relaxed about during games and before games, but I would say your level of concentration, focus goes up to make sure you're ready for that kind of important decision, because there's so much at stake. And you see that the players they're more focused. There's no doubt the players are more focused when it comes to the game. So you're not going to get involved with too much chit chat in the games, because they're more just trying to get any wee competitive advantage against each other. They're trying to kind of wind each other up, which you kind of hear. So no, I think in the games, you're totally focused. Again, it comes usually live on the telly. They come with added scrutiny, don't they? So we need to make sure that we are set for that.
What was your first Celtic Rangers?
March. What year would that have been? March 2016. So Celtic Park, one each. But again, you're talking about scrutiny. I mean, people still talk about decisions for that game, and that's
I
mean, you know what it's like. I mean, I'm not on social media. You couldn't be on it. With the kind of abuse, the football's changed, hasn't it? You know, you used to get abuse for 90 minutes, then maybe the day or the next day. But now, as I say, people are highlighting decisions for years ago and try to compare them to a decision in a recent game. So with different referees. But with that game, I realised I probably didn't underestimate the game. I knew it was coming. I was very relaxed. I actually had a great night's sleep and I was set for the game. I was actually in a fairly decent season. I thought I was refereeing all right. But I mean, they highlighted 3 or 4 different tackles, a penalty claim, fouls for one team, foul against another team no given. I thought, Jesus, this is like, I mean, the level of scrutiny. And I think that in terms of guys into the games, I've got a specific way of refereeing. I like to let loads go, right? And I think players know that. I like to let loads, as much go as I can, and step in when I need to. Because it's football, it's a contact sport. I don't want to kind of get involved unless I really have to. But in that game, you can't referee like that because they'll look at every single decision.
Every foul you've got to give it, even
pretty much. I think so, and that's pretty much how we referee in Europe, because you've got the different mentalities. You know, the South Americans or Africans playing there, whatever it may be, that can react. So you need to kind of manage that. But in the big games, I just call it as you say, give the free kick. So don't try and be a hero and let play go, allow advantage or whatever it may be. No, definitely. I think I learnt that the hard way in that game, and I think I've done 4 since it. And they've all went very well.
Do you always watch yourself back?
I used to watch the full games, but no.
Why could you torture yourself?
I think I know without the media or the observer that's there to watch us, we get an independent observer at every game. I know for a good game myself, and I'm basically now judged on big decisions, key decisions, penalties, red cards, match defining incidents. So that's how I'll watch back generally for something like that. And then if I think there's a specific incident like a mass confrontation, I could maybe learn how to deal with it better. I'll look at it, but I'll know. Very rarely sit and watch a full game back.
Do you ever wear the referee kit in the house?
When I'm watching the game back, that role play.
Oh, leave that. It's a family show. Do you bring the kids with you?
No, I didn't.
You shite without the kids?
No, I know it's just no fun, isn't it? No.
What about socialising? What referees is there? Referees that you get?
I mean, there's obviously.
I
mean, I think I've been involved now for what, 16 years. So there's guys that you've got a good relationship. One of my best pals that played at East Kilbride Thistle, with me, David Rooms, assistant referee that comes in European games with me. So we're like good pals away for refereeing even before that. So, but then there's other guys like Big John Beaton, wee Frankie Connor. They're good pals because we've been away for years together. We were involved in Willie's team for years, so you build up a relationship there. And
I mean, get a night out on it after games when you're away?
When we're away, I mean, I don't go out here at all, right? I don't go out in Scotland.
That's not any sort of life, though, is it?
I know, I'll go out for dinner and the likes, but I don't go out to pubs.
Frankie and Benny's, isn't it?
Where did I go? The Maggio's, isn't it?
Oh,
nice.
The
free advertising. But I think I'll go out, but I don't go out and drink. It's no my scene. But when we're away, if the games went all right, we're out. Aye. Aye.
Oh, quite right.
I think you've got to be. So if you want, at some point, you've got to kind of relax and unwind, haven't you?
Of course.
But there's multiple nights where we're going out and then try to get back in time to catch a flight and stuff like that.
See, there you go. Referees are wild as well. Right, travelling. Talk us through your routine. How do you usually get to games?
So we all drive to our games. Very rarely we'll have to go and stay up the night before. So you usually drive on the day. The only way you would do that if you'd stay over if you're in Aberdeen or a Ross County early kick-off for me. So I've not been there in a long time.
That level, mate.
Peterhead. Last time I was up there, I went up and put it half.
Best thing for it,
half fee up the road. Half pit as Larry. So we'll tend to, if logistically you can meet the guys on the road up, then you'll meet them and you'll get a blether, or if there's guys at your pal, you'll definitely make sure you tie in, or even sometimes if there's a kind of inexperienced guy, it might be good to meet him and get a wee chat, because then you're going into a game and you might never have met the guy before, so you want to make sure that you know what the level of expectation is. So it's good to meet the guys, and if you're taking Willie, obviously you get the wee booster seat in, you get his wee packed lunch for him, you get a wee packet of Dunkers and fire him in the back.
Do you never say to linesmen, like, if you worked a wee bit harder, you could have been a ref?
I love winding them up. We call them little helpers. Little helpers. So, and by the way, they're top assistants. We've got very good assistants in this country, but I always say you're an assistant because you're not a referee.
Brilliant, man.
But they don't like that part.
No. Why do they choose to be linesmen?
I think because there's a certain pathway where you get to category 3, which is like run the line in senior football, so in the lower leagues, the Championship, League 1 and League 2, and then for there, the SFA basically decide if you're going to go Cat 2, which is then an opportunity to referee in there eventually, or you become a specialist assistant. So they've now got a programme, the SFA, where they identify I'm winding them up there, but they identify the talented assistants, and they're the guys that will then go in that pathway, become assistant referees. So it's driven for early on in their career now to say, right, these guys have the attributes, because it's far harder to be an assistant than a referee.
Is it?
I mean,
because you're involved in it all the time.
As a referee, you're involved, you're getting the interaction, you're getting the banter, you're constant. They guys are out there, and they've got that split second. How can you look at where a ball is, where the second last defending attacker is at one? It's physically impossible, isn't it? So a lot of time they're making a judgment call, and I suppose that's where VAR will support assistants, but it's a hard job they've got.
You're making an arse for 90 minutes, they're just doing it for
one, and that's the one thing that gets highlighted.
What about, have you ever been in the motor with the officials and the dreaded supporters bus?
We've been saying no, but if you're stopping, like so you mentioned Brock's service, you're stopping there, you might see some of the guys. But see the time we see supporters of Mace when we're travelling for games, see in the airport, you see loads of fans like going to wait a game this week. We'll probably see fans going to wait to games in Europe, and that's where you see them in the airport, in the lounge, on the plane.
Do they give it?
It's always very friendly. I've never, and I can say that I've never had abuse away from football.
Really, right?
I've had one comment walking into a supermarket years ago. A guy walked by me and mumbled something. I was with the Wayne. I just kind of laughed. But it was one comment. That is it. I've never had anything else.
16 year, one comment.
Aye,
it's not
so
bad.
That's good. So I think that's good that people know where the line is. They can, because suppose do and say what they say on social media, but it doesn't come outside that. So I'm thankful about that. But on the plane, there's guys, you know what, you get a good chat with folk, even kind of meet players and managers on the plane, so you get a good chance to kind of chat to them. I was actually going to a course at the start this year, and we're talking about how it's going to be a big season. There's who teams have signed, and I said, it's going to be big, you need to make sure you're on your game. We're just getting a general chit chat with the guys that were there, and a guy a few back in the queue were just shooting on the plane and says, hope you're fucking better than you were last year. So I looked round, it's a wee boy with a Kilmarnock tap on. I went, fuck's sake, you're going to talk to me before you just get pumped to a Europe a part-time, and you're now going to Belgrade to watch a team for Wales. So I think you should look at your own issues before you start talking about us.
Oh, tremendous.
And then we seen them on the way back, then we get a good chat with the guys. So no, you get that, but it's always very fair. It's always fair.
Brilliant. What about the car licence? You got any points?
I got my first points last year.
Oh, you're kidding, man.
So I'd never...
Getting your hair in the mirror.
So it was coming back for Aberdeen Rangers. It was a midweek.
Right.
So I'll talk you through.
Average speed that.
So what done me was the camera at Lawrence Cup, you know the road coming down there, it drops to a 50 for about a quarter mile.
Some of the boys have been done with that as well, you didn't even know, mate.
It's a quarter mile, so I'll talk you through my day. So I'm up at 5:30 to go into my work, to allow myself to go away at 2 o'clock, to then batter up within the speed limit to Aberdeen for a big game. Aberdeen Rangers, a big game.
Yeah.
So we do the game, get 2 penalties, 2 red cards. I miss a penalty for a tackle, so your head's spinning, and I'm now thinking I now need to get down the road to get back into work tomorrow morning, and that's where being full time would help you, because that's a lot. See, to cope with all that and be in that environment, it's difficult. So I'm driving down the road. Obviously I've set my kind of max speed limit, or I set it at 68 or something, whatever it is.
Or do you put it on the old
Aye, so I just sit there, because it's a long straight road that, isn't it? And I've obviously just, my head's been spinning, and at that Lawrence Cup it drops to 50 for, like, say, what is it, a quarter mile even that, and then sure enough they got me back for missing the penalty game, gave me a fine. So that's the only time. So it's no good, so when that comes in, isn't it? So that kind of ruined that day. But so and for a serious perspective, in terms of when you're driving, you know, and you've got these drives late at night, you know, you need to make sure your mind's clear, don't you, and make sure you're tuned into what you're doing.
You need to stick to the old speed limit, don't you?
You do, and like I say, I've set I really never speed. I really genuinely mean that, but because I've set average speed, and then I've just missed that dropping down to 50 for my fault, absolutely my fault. I never even seen it flash either, so the first notice I got when it came in. So
what did they do you? 60 quid?
Oh no, it was 5 points and fucking 200 quid or something. Aye.
Oh my god, SFA no getting that back now?
Did they start?
See all that, like, see what you're talking about, the stress and that, has there ever been a time where you thought, this is too much?
No, there's times when you're under pressure, and I really, and everybody, by the way, I can only speak personally, I don't feel the pressure. I get annoyed with myself if I make a mistake.
Yeah.
I get annoyed with myself, I put myself under pressure, but I never think it's too much, and I can't deal with this, or I don't want to do this, you know. And the biggest pressure I've ever been under, I remember back in 2013, it was Easter Sunday, so I'm building up domestic appointments, they're getting higher profile, so Celtic were on course to win the league and they were playing away to St Mirren. I've had a beast. I've had a beast.
Too many eggs in the woman.
I tell you, that treasure hunt's killed me. So I didn't have a good game, right? So both teams were killing me, and I've made a crucial decision that's allowed St Mirren to. I've gave a penalty late on. Simulation, it's the edge of the box, and it's allowed St Mirren to equalise. So, and then Daniel Lennon was the manager of St Mirren at the time, Neil Lennon was the manager of Celtic at the time, so the two of them are killing me. The two of them are killing me in the media. And that I'm going to a family dinner for Easter Sunday, and then I might be going to one of my pals' stag do's. We call him Stephen, the wee guy went through the course with me.
We help him?
He's picked a stag do in Dundee.
Oh.
What the hell did you go to Dundee?
What was the budget for the stag do?
Oh, I tell you, cutbacks, honestly. So we're going to Dundee, so I go to my family, so I come in after the game, first of all, my phone's fucking red hot. I'm like, so you know right away there's a problem here.
Who's it that's texting you? Just
Pals are refereeing, pals outside the refereeing,
yeah.
With a bit of winter weather here. So, and see when you come in for a game and you've got hundreds of messages, there's something wrong. So I went, alright, then the observer comes in, there's a couple of things I need to review. I already know, people have told me. Went, alright, okay, so I know it's not going well. So I go to my family dinner, and then I go up the road for that, and I'm thinking, am I going to go to this stag do in Dundee?
Because of the game?
Aye, and that's what it is, because I mean, you're on that loop into Sky Sports every 20 minutes, the same clips, the same interviews. I went, so I'm going to go up, so then a little did I know we're meeting in a sports bar, so sitting in a sports bar, and it's just my fucking mistakes that keep looking run.
Could you and the boys say laugh about that?
Aye, we're a good bit of banter, but I think there was even guys there, I'll see him when he comes up here, but guys, we're all fine when we go there.
Right, if you could pick your dream car share, 4 passengers for a long distance journey to Ross County, who would you pick? Doesn't need to be football players, it could be anyone. Do you get sent these questions?
It's a good question. I've seen it before, but that question, seeing my first job as a manager back in 2005, I went to an assessment centre and that was one of the questions.
Right.
So I like the question because I got the job. So back then, I probably wouldn't change. I was in two minds, so I was always with my two favourite players were Cantona and Zidane. Wow. But you know what, I am not going to condone for a minute a player jumping in and karate kicking a fan. But you know what? They're getting abuse week in, week out.
Do you ever feel like doing that?
I usually just laugh. I get pelters. Even when I'm out warming up, I'm getting pelters all the time. But no, I would never jump in.
Do you ever go back? Do you ever give fans a bit back?
Aye. I remember this year doing it. I'll come back to that. I've done it. Ayr Dundee United, right? So I get a corner. It's as clear a corner as you'll ever see, right? And this guy's hanging over the fence, obviously steaming. Dundee United fan. Yeah, fat baldy bastard. And I see him as clear as day. So he's got hair, but he's fucking massive, right? He's a sniper's dream. I'm like, so I'm saying to him, me? I'm like, fucking look at you. So every time I'm down there with a goal kicker, he's fucking hanging out. Fucking look at you. Must have fucking magic mirrors.
Oh, I love that, man.
But fans are mental. Fans are giving you dogs abuse, and if I laugh, something's quite funny if you laugh, you know, they can then, would they send letters into SFA and like, get a life. You can give you pelter, but you can't take it back.
Mate, I feel sorry if you can see even when I watch games with my mates and the things that they think are fouls, and I'm like, mate, that's never a foul, what are you talking about? I know.
Well, I actually went to watch Airdrie at the weekend, Airdrie Clyde. I'm sitting in amongst Airdrie fans and it's incredible listening to it. It is incredible. They only see things one way and you think, how can you no see that that's a foul that way? Or how? And then again, there's a foul that's, say, a yellow card for them, no a peep, obviously, and then there's just a foul and they're screaming for yellow cards, and I'm thinking, well, ought to be in the heads of these supporters, and that's what I'm dealing with every week, isn't it? So it was good, but going back to your question, apologies.
So I would
So I would pick Cantona. I mean, definitely Cantona. Then need somebody that can sing. My favourite artists are probably Neil Diamond and Dean Martin.
It sucks.
Oh,
brilliant. And who, Dean Martin?
And Dean Martin.
Oh, what a voice.
So I used to actually before my operation, I done a magic fucking Neil Diamond impersonation. Now I fucking sound more like Bjork.
Right, go and use it.
No. My voice, honestly, I sound more like Bjork now, my high pitched voice.
What were you doing with the old throat?
I got an operation. I got an operation in my throat back in 2016. So one of the risks was you could lose your voice or it could impact on your voice. So since I came back, my voice is much higher.
There's been a lot of people that was hoping that you'd lose it, innit?
I mean, see, when I woke up, I remember I woke up out the surgery. I was in surgery for 9 hours, and I was roasting, I was sweating. I went, I'm absolutely roasting. And then I quickly went, I've got my voice. I was delighted. So that was good. So I could do Neil, can't do it now, so I'm not doing it.
So who you got, Neil Diamond?
Neil Diamond. Got to be Diamond. Then back then I said Kalina, but I've met Kalina now, so he's not getting in.
What was he like as a guy?
Boring. Good guy, but he's dead. He's strict. He's strict, and he's all about.
You wouldn't want a night out, would you?
No. I need somebody with a bit of banter, so I think Kevin Bridges, isn't he?
Bridges
his chat's,
is good, isn't he?
I mean, his chat is great.
I was expecting young Paul Slane there.
Slaney? I don't know, just
you
because...
ever ref Slaney?
I remember refing one of the games up there, and he was fine, he was quiet, wasn't he? But what a boy.
Was he hopeless?
No, I think he had ability, didn't he? But it's about just channeling that ability into it. So, but after the way he speaks to your Willie, no chance.
Don't the rest know about that?
Aye. Well, it's that song, isn't it? That Freed From Desire. I've actually got that in my playlist now. Aye. That's a crack, terrified Slaney's on fire.
I've spoken to Willie. He's alright, isn't he?
He's fine.
He loves
that
Willie,
sort of stuff, I mean, Willie gets a lot of criticism, right? But
Willie's a good laugh.
But Willie's got good chat, and you'll know me MD more dedicated than Willie's been refereeing since he's 14, so he's 26 years he's done, and
see, when I was a young kid, we went away with Scotland 19s to La Manga for a week, and Willie came with us.
Right.
So he was our referee, but he hung about with us for a week. And honestly, man, great laugh.
I know, and that thing, people see him as this officious week, but he's no away from the party, he's got good chat. He's just a normal guy, isn't he? He's a normal guy.
Right, mate, refereeing on the big stage. 2019, you refereed Champions League, Bayern Munich, Barca, PSG. Was it a pinch yourself moment?
It's good. I mean, it's a nice moment, isn't it? I mean, it's as a player when you probably
do you get like a phone call to tell you that you've
it comes in, we get an email to say we've got an appointment, usually about 2 weeks in advance, and then you only get the confirmation of the appointment 3 days before when you get your travel itinerary, just because to reduce match fixing and all the kind of potential abuse that comes with it, so that you can't be contacted. So it's 3 days before, so when you get that, I mean, you know you've got a game, and I mean, I'd done something like 25 Europa League games, which are great, you know, and they're great experience, and I've refereed some top players, and I'd been involved with top players when I've been away with Willie. But when you go to do that yourself, it's a nice moment. I mean, there's no doubt when you're on a part with players of that ilk, that's something to kind of cherish, you know. So,
you ever see when you're reffing the top players, is there anyone that you've actually just thought during the game, like, it's a pleasure to be on the same pitch as?
Do you know the one player that I did think as an individual performance, a guy, Falcao.
Falcao, went to Man United, didn't
he? So when he was at
just packed up anywhere, we'll say for
Atletico Madrid, he was at Atletico Madrid at the time, and I mean, I remember seeing him scoring goals with Porto. I mean, he must have scored more headers than anything else, but he's not a big guy. I mean, he's not a big guy at all, but great to watch. And I remember seeing him and I said, what a player he is. But it was good to be beyond me. What I said about when I was done the Barcelona game was, it's funny, they guys, I thought they're at the top of their game, they should be jumping out their skin, but I just thought for them it's like a job. I just thought, you know, what they're in, get the result and get up the road, you know. It was strange, you know, and for me it was a big occasion. You could tell for the club, Prague, it was a big occasion. For the players, you know, they're obviously up for it. But then for them, they're just there to do a job. Even after them, some didn't even shake hands, they're just straight off it.
So for them, Messi, how was he?
Fine, just so focused on the game.
No, but
you could talk to him. You could talk to him, because I gave a player a yellow card for a foul on him and checked him, but fine, very polite, you know, no issues. No, he was absolutely fine.
Any big players that were hard to deal with?
Who's the one in that game? It's Busquets, and he's the one that's always, every decision, he's always there.
Yeah, right.
So I remember saying to him, like, that's once, twice, it can't be any more. So again, you need to be very clear that you're not going to tolerate that. So it's that mentality, that kind of the Spanish mentality, where they're going to try and influence you. Because you watch if you watch any La Liga games, I don't watch many, but I watch the big games, and it's every decision they're over. So you're prepared for that.
You spoke to Sergio Busquets, You still do that slang, Scottish?
Well, I think uno más, a wee bit of the Spanish. I remember uno más, tarjeta amarilla. So one of the things I used to do driving to games, I've gone myself, I tried to learn a bit of Spanish, but I've chucked it now. But I remember trying to learn a bit of Spanish going to games. I thought, switch off, I got these CDs and I was trying to learn. So it helps, but like, how to kind of book a room with a bath for 2 nights for one person doesn't help you when you're talking to these players. But you need to make sure you kind of try and you're talking how do you kind of communicate with these players. But I think there's body language is one bit. If you can use a little bit of the local language, fine. But body language kind of tells the story, doesn't it? They kind of know where they are, so you need to make sure you can influence that quite quickly.
Can you see you being that close to it? Can you see a massive difference in the ability with the top players in the Scottish games?
When you're in the middle, probably you're just so focused on the decisions that you maybe don't realise. But technically, it's probably that kind of transition phase into it. It's how there may be football's possession's going into it. It's how you kind of transition, how you counter, and it's how quick they do it. I mean, if you look at like the PSG game, Mbappe, you know,
so quick, isn't it?
it's just you're up in the defensive third, then very quickly 2 passes in there and the other box, you know.
Is that hard to keep up with?
It is, and again, it doesn't help me. I'm 40 now, I know you'll say I'm 50, but as I'm getting slow, the game's getting quicker. So you need to combat that with using experience, reading the game. So and when you go to that level, it's frighteningly quick. So you need to try and be that step ahead and anticipate where they're going to go. So, but you do obviously you see a difference. But I like Scottish football. I mean, I wouldn't really hear him.
Even Scottish football's end-to-end, man.
It's frantic.
It's so frantic.
I watched the game.
Hard to keep up,
I watched the game the other day. It was at Kelly Hibs, and it was fucking non-stop.
100 million.
And I'm like, thank God I'm no refereeing that. That's that way you need to find a foul to get a wee breather. But no, I mean, Scottish football is what it is, and I like it. I always speak very positively about it, and that's how I watch that in club football, because some of my pals slaughter me. Say there's a big Super Sunday game on Chelsea Man U, but there's Alba showing Airdrie and Forfar. I'll watch Airdrie Forfar. Because I'll probably want to see the referees how he's doing, and it's Scottish football, isn't it? So
brilliant, what a man. Right, other job. What is your other job?
I'm a project manager for William Grant's, the distillers, the whisky distillers. So
and you're teetotal. What a waste.
I know. I didn't tell them the interview process, but I'm in there. But it's good. They're very good with me. Because in terms of getting time off for trips, you know, I use annual leave, and I've got a very good team working with me to support me.
You must be constant, eh?
It is. I mean, if you look, I'm away tomorrow for a game, so I'll work. Long as these 2 days, I'll work all the time when I'm away. I'll go back into work when I arrive back, then I'll have a game on Saturday, you know, and that would be the benefit of being full time if the
would you go full time if it came now?
Probably no, I'm 40, but see for guys coming in at 25, 30, and if the money was right, then they should do it, because I didn't work for 2 years when I hadn't been well, so I only focused on my refereeing.
Right.
And I refereed the best I ever refereed. There's no doubt.
Oh, what? Because you were totally focused
on it. And it's not you're more time to prepare meals. You're more time to do the proper sessions. You travelled up the day before games, midweek games. I mean, you look at that debacle having to go up and do that Aberdeen Rangers game. I would travel up early in the morning, relax, get something to eat. So you're in a better place. So I definitely felt as if in that period I refereed better.
So see, with your work, do you need to keep yourself fit as well? When do you do that?
I know, in the morning before I go in, or when I go up the road, aye. So yeah, we got that monitored by UEFA and by the SFA, so we wear heart rate monitor, so our data's analysed.
Well, you need to give them your heart rate monitor to know that you've been doing enough.
Aye, so there'll be an expectation, definitely, that we'd be training 5 times a week.
Wow.
So we need to make sure you put, obviously varied intensity, high intensity sessions, some kind of speed endurance.
Do you ever stick it on the dug? There's a wee trick for you, young man. I've done that a few times.
Tell you, I should try it, but it's difficult. I mean, they know everything. They've got every bit of data there. They would, even if you tried to pass it, they know your resting heart. They know, honestly, they analyse everything, which is good because it keeps you on the game. You need to be doing it. So, but it's difficult when you put that in with family, full-time jobs. Everybody's got. It's difficult. And by it's no, you're not looking for sympathy. We choose refereeing, but it could be easier if you were full-time.
See, if you were going to sell refereeing to a young guy or a young woman, what would you say?
Depending, I mean, the first thing is, I mean, if you're a young individual coming out of school or out of uni and you're trying to pick up a bit of pocket money, is the first thing. Would you want to go and spend 10 hours in a supermarket stacking shelves, or go and referee a game of football, a boys' game of football, or an amateur game and get the same money? You're getting the kind of physical aspect, then you're involved in football. But then if you want to progress, I mean, it's easy to say. You look at the games I've been involved in.
Good experiences.
Cup final here in the unbeaten season, Aberdeen, Celtic, Old Firm games, the games in Europe. I mean, if you want to come in, the opportunities are there. But the problem you've got is people think, I'll take up refereeing, I'll be doing that in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's not the case.
But football players are like that as well. Now young football players.
They want straight in, you know. And I think some football players are coming to refereeing and think, I've played. I kind of know, just come straight into into the kind of senior leagues, it's not like that. You need to go through the same pathway. I mean, because Sean Murdoch, Sean's a goalkeeper. He's now taking up the refereeing. Aye, so he's category 3.
He's a character like Sean.
Aye, so he's a good lad. So he'll be running the line in senior football. So he's trying to come through. So he took the decision to kind of go on with the refereeing. So, but they still need to go through the same pathway. And it can take about 10 years, and that's to get into refereeing the Premier League before you even then go to being involved in.
He'll be a better linesman than he was a goalie, won't he? He's not got much to live up to.
Oh, do you know what? See when he got his chance at Hibs, he had a fucking great game, didn't he?
Yeah,
a great game, and one mistake, and that's what they remember. So he'll be used to that as a referee. But he's a good big lad.
Yeah, so he's a good lad.
Hopefully he'll do well, and that might encourage more players when they get to that stage. Well, maybe I could do it, but
I'd love to see wee Paul McGowan doing it, would you?
Big Houser, can you imagine him? Oh man.
That wee fluffy hair
running about, panting, shouting at himself. Oh, it'd been real.
Right, what about advice to young drivers?
I mean, I mentioned that. I mean, you need to make sure your head's clear. I mean, particularly in long journeys. I think you need to be prepared for the journey that you're going to undertake.
Phone, do you always stick the phone away?
Phone's away, it's linked up now, and that's the beauty, isn't it? You can
check all the birds' texts when you get
Make sure that nothing again, right? So,
we Willie send you pictures now.
Oh, Willie. Usually send me clips for my opinion. So
see if you have will Willie be on to you?
Always will share that, if there's a game and there's
He's got a group chat?
Got various different group chats, aye. So you need to watch who's in it. So we'll get various group chats and people will put on instance for your game or other games. Because you know what? If something happens a game and people aren't sure, should it be yellow, should it be red, should it be offside? Better to discuss it so that when you've got a game coming up, that you know what would be the better decision.
But you would wait till you got to where you were before you checked your phone,
Oh, aye.
I hate people that their phones in their driving.
I mean, that's it. You've got that many compartments. It's linked to there, so you're not sending text now. And I think when you've got company, what you want to go and jump on your phone for now. So if there's calls there, I would pick up a call. But even then, I very rarely would I take a call when I'm driving.
Last wee bit, mate, VAR, I want to ask you about. A lot's been made since its introduction. Have you had any experience in Europe?
My 3 Champions League games had VAR, so. And with no interventions, so it was good. So I think what they say,
you shitting yourself a bit in case it didn't.
It's there. Well, I used it in under 21 finals in Italy in the summer, last summer, and 6 minutes in, I got called for a review, and it was for a handball on my blind side. So then you make the signal and you give the penalty kick. So you need to then. The biggest thing for VAR for the players as well, by the way, is it's how you deal with it. It's a mentality, because teams are scoring and then it's getting taken away, they're no scoring. So it's and it's the same for referees. I've made a decision, or I've not seen a decision, then you're giving it, but you can't allow it to sidetrack how you're going to referee the game. So you need to just very quickly, as I mentioned earlier, focus on the next decision. So as you're there and you think, what am I coming out of this to see? So I had 2 games there. I've had 3 games in the Champions. I've done a couple of games in Saudi Arabia where they use it.
Got a few quid for that, didn't you?
Aye. So you're there and you need to make sure you get it right in Saudi. You need to make sure you get the decision right.
Come in.
So it's good. So it's good experience, and I hope I know there's a lot of negativity. I think the Women's World Cup was a lot of negativity, even the way it's used in England. People aren't too comfortable with it, but what we've said, any discussions we've had with the SFA and the SPFL and the referee department, we can set that level of intervention. I mean, it's in the protocol, it's clear and obvious. So you define what clear and obvious is. Don't interrupt the game, let the game go, and clear and obvious, get involved. Other than that,
so do you want it? Do you want it in Scotland?
Absolutely, aye. I think
right.
Only for clear and obvious. If you say there you go in the 3 games in the Champions League, no intervention, there's no requirement to be involved. There's a couple of checks for offside goals correctly. Correct decisions given by my assistants. So, but it's for that absolute shocker. It's for that 1 metre missed offside that you want to kind of very quickly identify it's a mistake, or a missed penalty or a missed red card that you want it, and it can, as long as it's done quickly, you don't want to stop the game. No. And that's what I've said. You can shape that. So I think you can learn from how other countries are using it and make it suitable for our competition.
Have you got one decision that still haunts you?
One, God, I've more than one. I mean,
the decision to wear that coat.
I like it.
I've always joking.
It's quite slimming. It's quite slimming.
Black eyes.
That's how you're on black. Even probably, I mean, I'm being honest, a decision in the Europa League match day 5 there, or in Russia, and a player kind of lashes out, and I thought it was a yellow. And in terms of impact, I thought I was having a very good season, and I was annoyed I didn't get it. And I know it's fairly recent, and it's not just annoying because it is stories, but it meant a lot. I had a good year in Europe, and then it finished in the year in a kind of in a kind of a
Why
bad
did you not
mark.
get it? Was it just too quick?
It was out the corner. The ball was out of play. It was out the corner of my eye, and one of the guys said, "Watch number 9 or 10." I can't remember. And as I've looked around, I've just seen a movement. So I mean, he's hardly touched his face. But when you're no challenging for the ball, now it's violent conduct if you touch somebody's face. So I just didn't pick up on it. So I was disappointed. So that'll annoy me because, like I say, had a good year. And it's frustrating. So that would be the one. That would
See the assessors after the game. Do you ever have a wee argument with them?
But by the way, I've never really disagreed with observers. I've always accepted, especially with the guys here, because they're taking time out of their own schedule to come and support you and give you guidance and educate you. But recently I've actually had a couple of disagreements with it's because you get an opinion, haven't you? So, yeah. And if you want to say that you don't like to say the stuff that you'll just always take, because sometimes, because we get marked obviously, and if you get a clear important mistake, which is one of these missed second yellows, a penalty or a direct red card, you get a 7.9, that's a mark. So you want to avoid 7.9s basically. But you'll not agree with all of them, because I've got some, I'm thinking, how am I getting hit for that? I mean, that's what you take it personally, how am I getting hit for that decision when, for me, it's no clear and obvious. So so a couple of times recently I've had a few debates. I've lost, but I've had a debate at least.
Stand up versatile, man. Just a wee bit for, you mentioned stick for punters there. I think players have started to get it a lot more as well.
Aye.
I mean, you're saying you take it as a laugh, but is there ever times that you think, come on, this is just too much?
Some of the shouts when they're talking about your family or illnesses and all that, it's a bit much. And I mean, if you talk about antisocial behaviour at football, I know they're doing what they can to try and challenge that, but you can't have things getting thrown out in the park. I mean, I think you can shout things on, it's not right, but I don't condone it, but when you start throwing things onto the field of play, I mean, where are we? You know, and then you're talking about even there's kind of racist behaviour. I mean, come on, what year are we in? This 2020. Like,
scary, isn't it?
Get a life. And I think it's also hard for the players. The players have got a job today, and they're out taking throw-ins or whatever, and they're getting this abuse, and it's hard for them not to react. You know. And
I think this will be good, mate, to people see like it's not just as easy as it looks being a referee.
No, it's
I think
not.
you've put it across very well, like how you need to work and you need to family and you're driving up to Aberdeen to do a game. And it's been said so many times, but wouldn't there be a game without you?
No, that's it. And we can improve, and we're always trying to improve. I think people need to, and it does affect us. I mean, it does affect us, and people think that we're out there and we're beyond reproach and there's no accountability. There is. If we have a poor performance, your games drop off. You get them out there and your quality your games drop off. So we are accountable.
Do fans see when you meet fans? Are they surprised by your personality?
I think I'm just a normal guy, innit? I think hopefully that's identified when a couple of the kind of Thistle boys come in and talk to you before it. So I think you've got to be like that, and I think that helps you. I remember when I started my new job, and I walked into the office to introduce myself to the new folk, and I'm walking around, hi Bobby Madden. I introduced my guy Mick Cameron, he's a big Celtic man. Hi Bobby Madden, I fucking know who you are. But no, he's great. So we went to a works night out with a good night, and he said, I was out with Bobby Madden, he's a great guy, but now he regrets it because every time I make a mistake, all his pals are texting him or shouting down at him, fucking tell your pal.
See this urge for people to know who you support as well, is that annoying?
It's frustrating because, I mean, if you talk about football players supported teams growing up, right? So do you say when they play against them they're not going to try? Exactly. You're a professional. I don't know who any referee supports because it's not something that we would discuss. So why does that impact? Are you going to tell me that one decision can influence a whole game or a whole season? Referees are there to... See, don't get me wrong, it's a decision in the last minute, crucial, I get that, but it's a game 90 minutes, look how many decisions, look how many opportunities to influence the game. Referee can't influence a result, and that's not going to be based on who they've supported as a boy growing up. So, no, that is frustrating, there's an infatuation.
See if a manager's ever slaughtered you after a game, would you ever contact him?
A couple of managers have contacted me after it probably to apologise, because it's been maybe I think they've overstepped the line, it's been maybe too personal. I mean, but what I say is I don't mind the abuse for the managers, because they've got a job to do, right, and they're going to deflect. That's what they'll do. I mean, if they've got an opportunity to deflect, they'll take it and they'll use us because it's them that's not getting it. But I've had a couple that have apologised, one because then they've seen the decision that it's right, or they think they've overstepped the mark, so either is, and then next time you see them, but I really think that, you know what, and then next time, if you talk about that game back in 2013, people say, Neil Lennon doesn't like you, didn't you know? I go and great with Neil Lennon, you know, I see him in the airport if I'm out and about, even at games now. Great, he killed me that day, but he deserved to kill me. Yeah. So as long as we're all big boys here, we move on, the next game, there's no agenda, and you're calling your decisions.
Brilliant. Despite the difficult times, it still remain a passion of yours. How long are you still going to do it for?
Oh, it's the legs, isn't it? So there's no retirement age now, so let's say I'm 41, 4 or 5 years. I think there's a time, and I've said that to a few of my pals, because you see some referees, they go on and physically chuck it, even up there you chuck it, and I think there's a time. So I've said to my pal, see when I'm on the road, going to tell me. So I run about 45.
Right,
so
mate, I've got something to tell you.
Tell me.
What about after it? Would you do the coaching and the assessing?
Aye, I think there's an opportunity there. I mean, you want to put a bit back in, don't you? You know, I think. I mean, like I said, I went to kind of Air Decline. I actually enjoyed just going and watching the game. Yeah. And I kind of had communication with the referee, gave him a couple of kind of pointers, and I enjoyed that. So it'd be more formal. What I would say is, I'll have done this by that time for 20 years. Every weekend away, you know. So it'd be all right for like a wee bit of your own time back in your diary, you know. But I would like to stay involved. Because you've got a lot of experience, and I think there is you can help guys at every level, even out to the juniors, out to the amateurs. So no, definitely, I'll look to stay involved. Don't know about one of these kind of guys in the media. I don't think that's really my thing, you know, being out there.
What do you make of that, Dermot Gallagher?
I know. See if it's measured, it's good. Ex-refs coming out and criticising, it's not really the way to go, is it?
What about, is there any referees that are pals with players?
Pals with players? I think guys growing up with, I don't know any direct relationship, but it's the same when you've grown up, you know. Yeah. You know guys, when you're going through, more in the juniors, I knew a lot of guys, because I played in the 21s, there were a few, like Rumi, who's the assistant referee, walking into changing rooms, they're fucking destroying you. You're going to check the kit then, you're a fucking, I don't listen to him. I played with another good guy, there's really decent junior players, Willie Galloway, Alan Patterson, good football players. Yeah. So when you're into the change, that's the I was getting talked to. I don't know any of the senior guys personally now, but maybe some of the guys do, but that was good in the juniors again. As much as they're giving you abuse in that changing room, the guys that are in the team know, well, he's actually alright, he's just a normal guy. So you can use that to your advantage, don't you? So it's good. I need any way you can, like I say, for me, as I said, get that relationship with the players, that's key.
Bobby, what a man, enjoyed it.
Good.
Thanks very
much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Cheers now.
In the time it takes to score a goal, you can also lose control. Don't speed, drive smart.